kind of wonderings. If you want to go ahead and put those in the Q&A, our assistant principal team is going to help answer some of those questions if we know the answers to them. If it's something we don't know the answer to, we'll look it up. Also, I'm going to download the Q&A at the end of this, and we'll create kind of a frequently asked questions and answers and put that on the senior website. Speaking of senior website, if you have not already checked this out, you absolutely should. Miss Spradling has done a great job of putting all the important info that you'll need to know for graduation here. The video from tonight will also be added to this senior website. All right, so yesterday we kind of kicked off graduation season by having grad packet and then cap and gown pickup. If you were not able to join us and get that picked up, not a big deal. We've already got those reorganized and set up in the front office. So you can swing here by the Vandegrift front office anytime between 8:15 and 4:15 leading up to the big day to pick up those items. If there's any caps and gowns that happen to be left, we will bring those to graduation day. I do recommend though that if you've already got it, you get it ready for the big day by taking it out of the bag so it's not all wrinkly the morning of, and then making sure that you have a tassel, like a 2021 tassel. I know some of you are planning to use a sibling's gown from a previous year, which is totally fine, but you probably don't want the tassel to say 2018 in your 2021 graduation picture. So you can order an updated tassel or a cap and gowns if you still need it from the Balfour website, and they'll deliver those items if you order them now to Vandegrift early next week. All right, also want to let you guys know last year was the very first year that graduates could decorate their caps, and it worked out well. You guys did great with it. So we're going to continue that new tradition. The district has guidelines, specific guidelines for decorations of caps. What we're really looking for on graduation day is that it's appropriate and not offensive in any way. As you check in at graduation, we're going to just be kind of informally checking what's on caps. There's not a formal process at Vandegrift to get anything approved. Just use your best judgment. In the packets that were passed out yesterday, on the very front was a sticker that had your line spot. If you already threw away the packet and you're panicking, don't worry. It's not the only opportunity for you to get your line spot, but we did put it on there so you could kind of mentally prepare, kind of know where you're going to be showing up on graduation day. Also, a lot of you got cords or stoles, different regalia that you will wear over your gown on graduation day. I know our AP team has already received quite a few questions about what does this cord mean, or was I supposed to get a cord for different organizations? Once again, the amazing Miss Spradling created this document for our reference, and this is on the senior website. She made a list of all of the regalia that is used at Vandegrift High School. She took pictures of the pieces that she had examples of, and you'll notice off to the side, there's a listing of which staff member you would contact if you had questions about that. So if you're kind of curious about what was in your packet or maybe what wasn't in your packet, looking at this resource is probably the best, most efficient way to get your answer for that. Also, there were wristbands. Don't throw those wristbands that were in the packets away. Those are actually your tickets this year. Each graduate got 10 tickets. Now, we aren't checking to see who each person with the wristband came for on the day of. So if you guys individually or as friends want to share wristbands with each other, depending on your family's needs or the size of the party, that's totally fine. We just need that every single person that enters Gupton Stadium to have on that wristband on graduation morning. All right, so let's talk about the actual graduation day. So we just encourage you to wear something that you feel comfortable and something like celebratory, something nice for graduation. It definitely needs to be something that's school appropriate. One bummer about being an outdoor graduation in the stadium is that you really need to avoid shoes with high heels, ladies, because you don't want those heels get stuck in the turf. I've seen it happen. And the last thing that we want is for you to trip and have an embarrassing moment on graduation day. So avoid heels. Also, I would arrive with like your gown in hand so that you don't get too hot while we're waiting to line up. And then also would encourage you to maybe consider leaving your phone with your parents, because there's no purses or backpacks. We're not going to be holding onto your cell phones for you. And so leaving a phone with your parents is probably best practice. Plus, you don't need that distraction. You should be living in the moment on your graduation morning. All right, so leading up to your arrival, I would encourage you to eat a good breakfast because you'd be surprised how many times you kind of like get nervous and then it takes a while to line up and for the whole ceremony. Eating a good breakfast will help you feel strong and have us not have anybody pass out, anything like that. I do recommend that you go to the bathroom prior to lining up because it's a long time from start to finish of the ceremony. And then also have a plan for where to meet your parents after their ceremony. There are almost 700 Vandegrift graduates, plus all of their family members. Gupton gets crowded. So if you already have an idea of where you will meet after the ceremony, it will make things way more efficient for your family. This slide is a little overwhelming. I know, sorry. I don't expect you to memorize it. What I wanted to point out is we are recommending parking kind of based on the alphabet for graduation day. And we did this for your ease on the day, because if you'll notice on the picture of the actual stadium, the first half of our alpha will be seated here on the west side of the stadium, the home side. The last half of the alpha is on the east side, the visitor side. And so parents probably and family members probably want to sit closest to where you're sitting as a graduate. And so it would make sense to park close to that side as well. Graduates, you will be checking in here on the south side of the stadium behind both of the field houses. And then we will be lining up here in this parking lot. So we would ask that our graduates check in at 7 a.m. That's 1 hour prior to the start of the ceremony. That gives you time to find your alpha table here to check into. When you check in, you will get your name card, your official name card that the caller will be using that day. So you will not want to lose that. It also has your line number on it. So like I said, if you already threw away the graduation packet, no need to worry. You will get that line number and side number on the morning of graduation. So those name cards will be distributed. We'll have pins there. So if you want to make like a special note about the pronunciation of your name on the card, you can. Also, I know that a lot of people, it's important to have your name pronounced properly. Our name callers also, it means a lot to them to nail it when they're calling your name. Because we're not in person, it makes it a little bit harder for the name callers to reach out to you if they're unsure, or for you to reach out to them. So what I did is I created a little Flipgrid assignment for each of the different name callers that we have. We have 4 different name callers, and you will be assigned to one of them based on your last name. So I created a Flipgrid assignment that you can do if you want to. And what you would do is just create a video with the proper pronunciation of your name. The codes for those Flipgrid assignments will be in the senior update number 2, the graduation update number 2, that will be going out tomorrow morning. Once you've got your name tag, your calling card in hand, you are going to walk from right here at the top of the ramp into this little parking lot. So if you're the first half of the alpha, you're side A, you'll be in this little area. If you're side B, you will be over here. And we'll have stands with signs set up so you know exactly where to line up. So A through K on this side, L through Z on the second side. All right, once we are about 15 minutes away from ceremony time, we will start moving our lines, and we'll start moving in 2 lines, that line A and line B, to that big ramp. And that's where our line leaders will start jumping in. We'll have line leaders for every single row on side A and side B. And line leaders, if you're watching right now, this is a good general overview for you, but we will have a specific meeting for volunteers and teachers who are helping out at graduation so that we can talk teacher details later, closer to the ceremony. Just a side note, graduates, if you arrive late, like within 5 minutes of the ceremony time, what we will do is just have you join the end of the student line and not stress about finding where you are in the alpha. That's not going to happen because everybody's going to get there in plenty of time. All right, so what we'll do once we'll have 2 lines that proceed down the ramp. Our first 2 line leaders, this is Mr. Little right here. Dr. Gearing will be on this side. We're going to pause for just a moment to make sure our lines are even, and then graduates will process down the field so all the moms and dads can see you and take pictures, and then across, down the middle, and then slide into your rows alphabetically. When it comes time, the big time to walk across the stage and get your diploma, we will do all of side A, all the first half of the alphabet first. And so if you're sitting on side A, the first person to go will be right here in the corner pocket. This whole row will stand up. The line leader will help you know what to do. But basically, you're going to walk up here. Assistant principals will be right here to kind of guide you and let you know when to go and where to go. You'll walk onto the stage. There will be a basket for you to set your card, your name card in right next to the name caller. So you'll set your card in the basket. The caller will pick up your card and read your name as you walk across the stage. On the other side of the stage, our counselors will be set up. Also a spot for pictures with Photo Texas. So Photo Texas will take your official picture. The counselors will hand you your diploma and you'll walk across here and then back into your rows. So you'll notice I said that you get your diploma over here. Wanted to talk about that a little bit. We've seen like the diploma is the piece of paper. The fancy cover is the diploma, like the diploma cover is what you actually get on stage when you see Mr. Little. And that way people's paper diplomas aren't falling out or anything like that. Also, if you owe obligations, you will not act still on graduation day. You won't actually get your diploma on graduation day. You'll have to satisfy any obligations. And we'll talk about obligations at the end of today's meeting. If you're on side B, it's a little bit different for you. When it's time for the last half of the alpha to walk, you'll stand up. We'll start here again in the corner pocket. And side B will walk around, across, and then to the stage. And that way we don't have cross traffic with the 2 different sides. And you'll still get a chance to take your picture with Photo Texas and get your diploma. So I know that we've had some questions from students and families about what the mask policy will be for the ceremony. When you arrive for lining up, you'll need to have a mask on. When you process into the stadium, you'll need to have a mask on. Also, while you're seated and walking across the stage, the district is asking that you wear a mask. The one point where you get to have a great photo op with no mask is going to be here off to the side. There'll be social distancing, and Photo Texas will take an official picture with a nice background. You'll have your diploma cover at that point, and you can absolutely remove your mask for that formal picture. All right, so at Vandegrift, we have a really cool tradition called the I Believe chant. And since I'm new to y'all, this is my first official Vandegrift graduation, I'm gonna let Dr. Heath kind of explain the I Believe chant. Normally we do this a lot at football games, but because it's been an unusual year, some of you may not have done this ever or for a while. It's Dr. Heath's last graduation with Vandegrift because he has taken a principal job in College Station ISD. So definitely want to congratulate him and pass it over to him at this point so he can talk more about the I Believe chant.
So most of y'all hopefully have been to one of our graduations before and have seen this done. But if you haven't, it's pretty simple if you've done it in the football stands. But we have selected a student that will lead this chant. They will come up when they are asked to approach up front, and they will do the I believe chant. You just repeat. Unlike football, where it's I believe we can win, at graduations, I believe that we are done. And once everybody starts jumping and hollering, a lot of students like to throw their graduation caps at this time. Now, a couple of things we need to remember about graduation caps. One, they're like boomerangs. And when you throw them up, they come down, they have 4 sharp sides, and they can actually be quite dangerous. Also, a lot of students, when they get in the moment and you just want to be celebrating because you're graduating and fulfilling this first step before you move into the next phase of your life, don't forget your parents are probably going to want you to keep that graduation hat for a keepsake. So when you do throw it, make sure you know where it lands so that when we get ready to leave, you'll be able to pick that up. Okay?
Thanks, Heath. I also recommend that students write their names in them. If you notice the top of your cap, like the inside top, it's kind of like got that paper or cardboard, use a Sharpie or something, write your name in it so you make sure you get the one that fits you back. So your mom will be happy that it fits you when she wants to take pictures of you after the ceremony. Okay, back to the obligations that I mentioned earlier. If you still have your laptop checked out, like maybe because you're someone who's still AP testing and need it, or there's assignments you're doing until the last minute, your diploma, your actual official diploma, won't be released to you until you return that laptop or paid any fees you owed. Also, we've been working on textbooks a lot here in the AP office this week. I know there's a lot of you who still owe us textbooks, especially IB books. Those and library books should be returned. If you happen to still have any athletic equipment or uniforms, anything like that checked out, that will need to be returned. Also, those AP capstone and Avid stoles are really quite expensive and fancy. Those need to be returned in order for your diploma to be released. Now, we will open up the office like even as soon as like the Friday after graduation for returning any of these items that you need to take care of to get your diploma. We'll hold the diplomas in the office, and as soon as you fulfill that obligation, we'll release it to you. There is going to be a cutoff for obligations because we need time to pull diplomas and put obligation letters in those envelopes. So we ask that by the end of the day on Tuesday, next Tuesday before graduation, you have those taken care of. Otherwise, there might be a delay in getting that diploma to you on graduation day. Okay, so we've been having a lot of weather lately, so I wanted to talk about the plan in case we have inclement weather on the day of graduation. The goal would be to have graduation on the same day that it's scheduled already, if at all possible, because we know that your family members and friends have already planned to come into town. You may have food planned, all of those items. So we would delay, maybe by a couple hours if possible, all the way up until as late as 4 p.m. If it goes after 4 p.m. on the day of graduation, then it's kind of a cutoff because there's an evening graduation after us. If we can't fit it in before 4 p.m. on Thursday, the goal would be to roll it to noon on Friday if needed. But overall, the goal is to have it on time, nice, beautiful sunny weather, and as close to that 8 o'clock on Thursday as possible. All right, so at this time, just want to say a big thank you for taking the time to attend. I know we talked about a lot of information today. Here's the nice thing. Nobody here expects you to have this all memorized because there's tons of volunteers. We have 50 teachers who've volunteered to be there to help make sure things go smoothly. As a graduate, really your job is to show up, get your card, line up, and then we'll just take it from there. There'll be adults everywhere who kind of show you where to go, who answer any questions that you have. Graduation day, once we get those in those lines and we get rolling, it is always really smooth and a really special day.
Ms. Maxarth, I want to show them one thing before do we have anyone else that needs to speak?
I don't think so.
Okay, students, I'm going to send this newsletter out, and there's a ton of stuff in it. And there's a senior part with all the graduation information, and I'm going to post the video on here, right here. And I'll put that in there as soon as it's done uploading. And it has the senior end of year's checklist you need to look at, updates for graduation, and if you want to submit your picture for the slideshow, it's not too late. This is different than what you did for the counseling team. This is for the actual graduation slideshow, and you can do that. And then a little bit about yearbook information, and then there's one more important link down here at the very bottom that is well, that doesn't apply to you all, so never mind, you're seniors. So I'm going to send this out. It goes to your email, and then I'll have a link to it on the website later this afternoon. So everything should in that video will also be there, and then there's a lot of information on here. So hopefully that will help you as well. All right, that's all I have. I already did. Anything else? All right, well, I want to thank my esteemed committee members, and we will hopefully have a beautiful day on Thursday and give you the graduation you deserve. Thank you all, and we'll see you soon.